Happy New Year, this is The Big Picture. 2012 has plenty of great movies to look forward to, and January kicks off the new year in style. George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Steven Spielberg, and Michael Fassbender are just some of the big names going for award season glory this month, so let's take a look at The Big Picture.
One's life must matter.
Not like you looking back. Don't want to dig around too deep, Em. You don't know what you might find.
Meryl Streep is Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady, a look at the life of the former British Prime Minister.
I've decided to run.
Are you saying you want to be Prime Minister?
This is my duty.
It's ambition that's got you this far. Ambition. And the rest of us, me, the children, we can all go to hell.
The film takes a look at Thatcher's journey to number 10, battling contemporary views on class, taking on a male-dominated government, as well as the 17 days leading up to the Falklands War.
With all due respect, when one has been to war...
With all due respect, sir, I have done battle every single day of my life.
Streep leads a cast of well-known British actors, including Richard E. Grant as Michael Heseltine, Anthony Head as Thatcher's aide, Geoffrey Howe, and Jim Broadbent as her husband, Dennis.
Gentlemen, shall we join the ladies?
The Iron Lady opens on January 6th.
Where's the angry?
That's my boss.
Hey, do you want to play?
Your hard drive is filthy. I mean, it is dirty. Slowly.
Michael Fassbender is Brandon Sullivan, a wealthy businessman living in New York City. He has a complicated private life with a string of lovers and an addiction to erotica.
You want to get out of here? I could take you somewhere.
His obsession soon begins to take him over, and his life spirals even further out of control with the arrival of his sister, played by Oscar nominee Carey Mulligan.
I'm trying to help you.
How are you helping me, huh? You come in here and you're a weight on me. You're a burden.
This is the second time Michael Fassbender has worked with director Steve McQueen. He played Bobby Sands in the critically acclaimed Hunger in 2008.
Brandon, please will you pick up the phone?
Despite the film's adult tone and content, it had a successful opening weekend in the United States and will be hitting UK cinemas on January 13th. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are back, and this time they have to pit their wits against their legendary adversary, Professor Moriarty. Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law reprised their roles. They were present at the film's UK press conference, and the Big Picture team were there to find out more.
I think also the truth is the reason they've been so popular for so long is because they're symbolic in a way of characters that we all know and that we all have in us. There's this sort of, the side of us that's very down to earth and reliable, and another side to us that can be kind of imaginative and creative and eccentric and anarchic, if you like. And I think looked at rather in a simple way, that's what Watson and Holmes are symbolic of.
If we can stop him, we should prevent the collapse of Western civilization. No pressure.
I love the fact that we found a way to make the audience not judge him for driving a wedge between he and his wife. I think he's someone who needs to be taken care of so that he can do what he does best.
Make it count! I'm on my honeymoon!
Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, is in cinemas now.
What is it? It's a horse they found wandering about in no man's land.
What kind of an horse?
A miraculous kind of an horse, be my guess.
Based on one of the most popular stage plays ever produced, Steven Spielberg brings Warhorse to the big screen.
I promise you that I'll look after him, and if I can, I'll return him to your care.
He's my horse, sir.
The film tells the epic story of friendship between a young English boy, Albert, and his horse, Joey, during the First World War. When Joey is sold to the cavalry and sent to the trenches, Albert must find a way to be reunited with his friend. Playing Albert is newcomer Jeremy Irvine, who was one of hundreds of actors who auditioned for Steven Spielberg. Warhorse will be riding into cinemas on January 13th.
When morals decline and good men do nothing, evil flourishes. A society unwilling to learn from the past is doomed
Leonardo DiCaprio is J. Edgar Hoover, the first director of the FBI, in this drama based on his 50 years in charge of law enforcement.
Edgar, you will rise to be the most powerful man in the country.
Director Clint Eastwood and writer Dustin Lance Black made a conscious decision to aim the movie at a younger audience. Leonardo DiCaprio had to spend several hours in the makeup chair to be turned into the older J. Edgar.
It's time this generation learned the difference between villain and hero. Even great men can be corrupted.
J. Edgar hits cinemas on January 20th.
She's one of the best investigators I had. But she's different. In what way? In every way.
Proving a smash with critics and audiences alike, David Fincher's remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was released on Boxing Day. We chatted to cast and crew at the world premiere.
At its most basic level, it's a wonderful mystery. It is a great mystery and a great detective story. The fact that it's got a relationship in the middle of all that, I think is the secret to its success.
It's a very intriguing story. It's the people in it. Elizabeth Salander, is such an unusual character.
She's as close as she can be. You know, that was always our intention, was to stay true to the book. And, you know, of course there are going to be changes. It's a different medium, but I think she's pretty close.
She's been beaten down and she rises and manages to sort of rise above it. And I think everybody kind of feels a connection to that sort of thing.
This incredibly fierce and strong and dangerous woman that at the same time is so vulnerable and also so abused.
You failed to adapt to 4 foster homes, were arrested twice for intoxication, twice for assault. How many partners have you had in the last month? And how many of those were men?
I should have control of my money.
And you will, once you learn to be sociable.
Given Fincher's world, I knew this one would be different.
This is exciting now with Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig. It's really exciting, you know, that cast, you know, by David Fincher.
Soon you will know us all, only too well, with my apologies.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is in cinemas now.
Some people called it the greatest love story of the 20th century.
What are you thinking about?
What it must feel like to be loved that much.
Are all American girls such good dancers?
I wouldn't know, sir. Haven't danced with many.
Madonna is back in the director's chair for this romantic drama. Set across 2 time periods, Wally Winthrop tries to unravel the truth behind the infamous affair between King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson.
Your family will never stand for it. The Prime Minister won't stand for it.
He'll not give up the throne.
Abby Cornish stars as Wally Winthrop, James Darcy as King Edward VIII, and Andrea Riseborough, who has already picked up a Best Actress award at the Hollywood Film Festival for her role as Wallis Simpson.
He's rather serious about her, Your Majesty.
What do you mean, serious? She's a married woman.
Darling, they can't hurt you. Unless you let them.
Madonna's first film, Filth and Wisdom, had a limited release in the UK, but WE is already tipped to be an award season contender.
My friends think just because I live in Hawaii, I live in paradise. We're all just out here sipping Mai Tais and catching waves. Hell, I haven't been on a surfboard in 15 years.
George Clooney is Matt King, a wealthy land baron whose lack of parental skills are put to the test when his wife is involved in a boating accident.
This is Sid. He's gonna be with me. I'll be a lot more civil with him around.
Sup, bruh? Don't ever do that to me again.
At first, he thinks he is the reason for his rebellious daughter's behaviour, though things aren't quite that straightforward.
You might not be able to hear this right now, but she was lonely.
Who is he? I'd like to know who the guy is that my wife was seeing.
It's directed by Academy Award winner Alexander Payne, the man behind About Schmidt and Sideways. Also starring Beau Bridges and Oscar nominee Robert Forster, The Descendants hits cinemas on January 27th.
My friends think just because I live in Hawaii, I live in paradise. Are they insane? Our families are just as screwed up. Our heartaches are just as painful. But we're gonna make it out okay. You and Scotty and me.
Com check.
We're live.
Target acquired.
Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
The hell is that?
Abort.
Cruise was joined by his co-stars at the UK premiere. Their mission for the night was to talk to the big picture, which they chose to accept.
This series of films has had a very eclectic group of directors attached to it in Brian De Palma, John Woo, J.J. Abrams, and now Brad. And Brad's brought his very individual touch to the film.
Okay, this is a slight wrinkle. We're going to have to go into the server room from the outside. We? I'm on the computer.
Traversing the side of the world's tallest building was a stunt that Tom Cruise took on himself without the aid of a double.
Well, the first time I did it, I trained. We were training for months actually beforehand, and just we were worried, about the temperature on the building because the sun was hitting it. There was a lot of different elements and different things to figure out. Obviously, beyond the height, it was how physically are we going to do this, and how am I physically going to do it? But it was very challenging.
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is in cinemas now. Well, that's January. Pretty exciting stuff. Now all you need to do is head down to your local cinemas and enjoy the movies. You've been watching The Big Picture.